Hey everyone, and welcome to my October most anticipated releases. There's 9 things to talk about today, so let's start off with the first one on the 3rd of October, and that is Some Like It Cold by Elle Macnicol. And this is the latest book by Elle Macnicol. It is her first YA romance as well, which is a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but quite frankly, I will read anything Elle Macnicol writes. And I'm just going to read the synopsis here. It says, 18-year-old Jasper is heading home for the holidays. Arthur, a budding filmmaker and longtime thorn in Jasper's side, is looking for a story worthy of the big screen, and the return of the small town's golden girl could just be the one he's searching for. But Jasper is back for just one reason: to say goodbye. And before long, tensions begin to rise, and a certain brooding film buff starts to look like a very big reason to stay. And while this is very much outside of my comfort zone, like I said, I am still so excited about this book. I love Elle's work so much, and what I also know and really appreciate is the fact that this is not a Christmas book. And yes, it is covered in snow and it is meant to be wintry, but it is not a Christmas book. And I am so thankful for that, because I'm definitely a Halloween girl. I am not a Christmas girl whatsoever, so really happy to have a wintry book that is not a Christmas book. Very excited to read this as soon as I finish filming this video. Then also this week we have The Dark Becomes Her. This is by Judy I. Lin, and this is a sort of horror book within the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, which always excites me because I really like Rick Riordan Presents imprint. I think that all the books that I've read so far have been really, really good, and also this is supposed to be a horror one, which definitely piqued my interest. But the actual synopsis says, Ruby Chen has always played the part of a dutiful daughter, excellent in school, excelling in piano lessons, excelling in keeping her younger sister, Tina, focused on extracurriculars meant to impress college and mission officers. But when a ghost from the spirit world attacks the sisters in the middle of Vancouver's Chinatown neighbourhood, Ruby's life is plunged into a darkness that no amount of duty can free her from. Overnight, Ruby's sister seems to change. There are strange noises coming from her bedroom at all hours, and the once sweet and funny Tina has been replaced by something dark and unnatural. As Ruby races to save her sister from demonic possession, she is thrown into an ancient battle over the gateway to the underworld. On one side, an evil travelling temple known for making dark wishes come true has returned to Chinatown after many years, intent on breaking down the gateway and unleashing the evil within. On the other side, the Guardians who must stop them. And in order to survive, Ruby must not only face the horror taking over her community, but must also confront the horror within herself. And what it also says is that Chinese and Taiwanese mythology get the Junji Ito treatment, which really, really excites me. I just read my first Junji Ito a couple of months ago and really, really loved it. And I'm also really here for learning more about Chinese and Taiwanese mythology, all of this kind of thing. There's gateways to the underworld, demonic possession, all of this kind of thing. This just sounds right up my alley. I definitely want to read this soon. Then there is Killer House Party. This is by Lily Anderson, and this is about a group of friends who go to a graduation party at an abandoned manor house, and then it turns out that that place may be haunted because the manor doors bar everyone inside and the walls begin to bleed and everyone's trying to make it out alive, which just sounds... Oh, it sounds perfect for this time of year. I love a spooky slasher type thing, and this sounds very much like a spooky slasher type thing, so I really want to give this one a go. Then there is Sally's Lament. This is by Marie Mankuski, and this is part of the Twisted Tales series, which is taking various different Disney stories and asking what if. And this one specifically is all about Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and what happens if she discovers Christmas Town instead of Jack Skellington, which immediately fascinated me because obviously I am a big fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, because obviously I am. I've had This Is Halloween stuck in my head for the last month ever since it started getting colder, so I'm really intrigued to see what happens if you take that story and then twist it so Sally discovers Christmas Town instead of Jack Skellington. It just sounds really, really fascinating, really, really fun, so I really want to check this out on the 8th when it releases. Also on the 8th is Fledgling. This is by S.K.R. Lee, and this one I've seen a few people actually raving about so far. I think it's arrived in America earlier than it has the UK, but I've seen a fair few people talking about this book so far and really, really raving about it. And it says, would you trade love for peace? Riser of the Upper Earth has only lived a life of privilege and acquiescence. Ever dutiful, she accepts her father's arrangement of her marriage to Lean, I apologise if I mispronounced that, Crown Prince of the corrupt, volatile lands of Lower Earth. Though Lion is a stranger, Ryza knows the wedding will unite their vastly different worlds in a pact of peace. An infusion of Upper Earth technology into Lower Earth will usher in the final age of enlightenment, ending the war between humans forever. Or is justice more urgent? Newly released from imprisonment, Nada of Lower Earth has found her own calling, disrupting the royal wedding. Convinced her cousin Lean's alliance with Upper Earth will launch an invasive, terrifying form of tyranny, Nada sets out undercover to light the spark of revolution. When Ryza goes missing a week before the wedding, all eyes turn to the rebels, including Nafe, Nada's twin brother, a fugitive on the run. And when Nafe and Ryza meet, the long simmering animosity they feel towards each other's world slowly burns away into something unexpected. But the Crown Prince wants his bride and future back, and he will go to the ends of the earth to reclaim them. And this just sounds really, really intriguing to me, and to be honest, it is the reviews that's got me for this one, because like I said, I've seen quite a few reviews for it, and it just sounds really intriguing, so I really want to check this one out. Then on the 15th, we have Lisa Terreno's Prince of Fortune, and this one's been described as red, white and royal blue meets a dark shade of magic, and that's all I really needed to know to sell me on this book, because obviously I absolutely adore Dark Shade of Magic. It's one of my all-time favourite books ever. I adore that series so much. It is, like I said, one of my favourite trilogies. And then I also really, really enjoyed Red, White and Royal Blue. So I'm definitely intrigued to see how these two mix together and see how that works out. So definitely want to give this one a go when it comes out. Then on the 22nd, we have A Vile Season, and this is by David Ferraro. And this one is supposed to be Bridgerton meets The Bachelor in a queer Regency romance of a vampire competing for the heart of the Duke. I mean, I love vampires, I love Bridgerton. I've never watched The Bachelor, I will say, but I do absolutely adore Bridgerton. I will drop everything whenever a new series comes out, so that intrigued me. And then when you mix it with vampires, definitely in the mood for that, because obviously I am in the mood for vampires right now. I am so in the mood for vampires and all things vampiric, so definitely want to check this one out. My camera battery died, but anyway, on the 29th we have Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews, and it says, once upon a time, Andrew had cut out his heart and given it to this boy, and now he was very sure that Thomas had no idea that Andrew would do anything for him. Protect him, lie for him, kill for him. High school senior Andrew Perrault finds a refuge in the twisted fairy tales that he writes for the only person who can ground him into reality. Thomas Rye, the boy with perpetually ink-stained hands and hair like autumn leaves, and with his twin sister Dove inexplicably keeping him at a cold distance upon their return to Wickwood Academy, Andrew finds himself leaning on his friends even more. But something strange is going on with Thomas. His abusive parents have mysteriously vanished, and he arrives at school with blood on his sleeves. Thomas won't say a word about it and shuts down whenever Andrew tries to ask him questions. Stranger still, Thomas is haunted by something, and he seems to have lost interest in his artwork, whimsically macabre sketches of the monsters from Andrew's wicked stories. Desperate to figure out what's going on with his friend, Andrew follows Thomas into the off-limits forest one night and catches him fighting a nightmarish monster. Thomas's drawings have come to life and are killing anyone close to him. To make sure no one else dies, the boys battle the monsters every night, but as their obsession with each other grows, so do the monsters, and Andrew begins to fear that the only way to stop the creatures might be to destroy their creator. And this just sounds incredible. Oh my god, like, monsters coming to life from drawings, like macabre fairy tales, obsessional natures with each other. Oh, this sounds so good. I mean, I've followed C.G. Drews for a very long time on Twitter, but I haven't actually read anything they've written yet, so I'm really, really intrigued by this one. It sounds really, really interesting, so I am desperate to give it a go when it comes out. And then finally, also on the 29th, we have They Watch From Below by Katia D. Becerra, and this one is supposed to be an unsettling and engrossing mystery horror perfect for fans of The Secret History and Ninth House. And I've never read The Secret History, but I've definitely read Ninth House and really, really enjoyed it. And it says, when Addie Veldy receives an invitation to attend an early orientation program at the University of the Arches, she eagerly accepts. After all, the Arches, with its idyllic beachside campus, is her mum's beloved alma mater, and there's nothing Addie wants more than to leave her own mark. But from the moment she arrives on campus and moves into her gloomy dorm, nicknamed the Crypt, Addie realizes that there are more sinister secrets to uncover than sandy days in her future. Addie's search for answers launches her straight into the heart of an old campus mystery, which to this day keeps students and faculty wary of the buried ones, believed to be the omens of death. a vanished professor, an occult society, and the chance her family were involved pushes her investigation into dangerous territory. Will she lose herself to the buried ones, or end their sinister reign once and for all? And I mean, horror, dark academia vibes, Ninth House vibes, buried ones, omens of death. I mean, can anything be better to read in this spooky season? I definitely want to give this one a go. And I mean, the cover looks terrifying, so I am so here for this. And that is all of my most anticipated releases for the month of October. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me your most anticipated release for the month of October. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a spooky emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics if you want to check that out and see what's coming out from Marvel and everything else to do with Agatha all along and witches and all of that good stuff. All of that will be linked down below, as well as a link as well down below to my Bookish Etsy store if you want to treat yourself to something bookish today. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!